Rampage family, welcome back to another fun-filled weekend of hockey. This weekend, we are here in Orland Park in the greater Chicago area. And all right, welcome back, folks. We got just a little over 3 minutes of time left in the warm-up period. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, as you always do. Our matchup this morning is against the LA Junior Kings. I don't have much of a scouting report from that standpoint, but I do think overall this is going to be a very challenging weekend, which is going to be great for the boys, I believe. This weekend, we do have two players out on concussion protocol recovery. That'd be Alex Espirito and Liam Holmes. So, but we also have some additions to the lineup. The first is Parker Hay, who's a 16s goalie that's going to be joining us this weekend to help out. So hopefully we can give Ryder a little bit of rest. And then we also have a new defenseman showing up to our team this weekend, a gentleman by the name of Freeman Butler. And he's going to be joining us on the blue line, and he is out there wearing number 52 today. So welcome to both of those gentlemen. We appreciate having you guys join the team, even if it's just for the weekend. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Also, thanks to all of you guys who watch and always have the nicest, kindest things to say. I do really love the families and the kids on this team, as I am happy to say every year. And yeah, you guys are just phenomenal. And I do work primarily for the grandmas, but I also work for the thank yous, and special thanks to Grandma Sarah, who's not only been my bodyguard for years now, but also showed up with a very nice card and a gift this week, which I have no expectations from anybody, but I just want to make sure everybody knows how much I appreciate you guys, and when you do things that are nice for me, I appreciate that even more. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We got just under a minute to go in warm-ups. Thanks to Sonia Shields for, again, working the camera for me today. And hopefully my mic will continue to work, and that will allow me to go sit in a little bit quieter area here shortly, and hopefully I'll be able to call the game without standing on top of parents from the other team. So that's that. Should be a really good lineup this weekend. Should be a really good test for the boys, and hopefully they are ready to go and here to play. And if I could have anybody that's watching just give me a real quick heads up on crossbar that you guys can hear me okay, that would be phenomenal. And greatly, greatly appreciated. The mic seemed to be working all right, but I am just hesitant because last weekend they decided to quit on me out in the middle of nowhere. So, all right, I'm going to go take a seat here up front. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, I'm going to sit down front here where hopefully I can get a good vantage point and block the view of all of our parents that are watching as well. It's not me. It's the other guy. If you guys do catch me on camera sitting up front here and see the weird guy talking to himself in the second row, that's me. We got 17 minutes up on the board. Period one. Out on the ice to get us started for period number one. It appears we've got Whittingham, Friedis, Dormer, Butler, White, and I believe we're going to see Parker Hay in net for this game. Parker Hay coming to us from our 16s team. All the pucks are collected. Kings pucks are collected. We do have 2 linesmen and an official on the ice. I feel like it was just a few short years ago that we showed up for this tournament and had 0 officials scheduled. That was a rough weekend. Thankfully, in the past, hopefully the men in stripes will do a good job today, but I doubt it. Getting ready to start here for period number one. Here we go. Tied up on the draw. Friedis gets a stick on it. He's going to skate it to the far side, dump it in the Kings zone. Puck runs around to the near side. White's there. Sends it back down low. Dormer out front. Butler takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He's going to hang on, and we got to already have a little how you doing. Welcome to the Rampage, Mr. Butler. 16:45 left in period number one. Same crew out as before. Face off in the Kings zone. Rampage win the draw. Dormer tries to send it down low. Kings break it up. Dormer with the steal. Keeps it at the blue line in the zone. Dormer sends it down the boards behind the Kings net. Friedis is waiting in there. Gets in the mix. Sends it back up to White at the point. White across to Butler. Butler makes a move on the blue line. Puck goes back out to the boards. Tied up momentarily. Dormer's going to send it back in. Puck goes wide and ends up in the far corner. Whittingham's in there. He's going to mix things up down low. Puck on the far boards, and now Kings coming back into the Rampage zone on the far side. Centering pass doesn't connect, and it just slides out front where Mr. Parker Hayes is going to cover it up. We'll get a whistle and a stoppage, a face-off in the Rampage zone. 16:03 left in period number one. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, Fewer, and Bennett. Rampage win the draw back in the corner. Comes up the near side boards. Sarver off the boards to the far side out of the zone. Kings recollect. They're going to dump it in on net. Hay turns inside. Fewer up to Sarver. Something out of the zone, and Whitted gets a stick on it, puts it in the zone. He's going to drive it. Looks out front, doesn't connect. The puck ends up behind the Kings net. Gets tied up down low. Drexel skates into the far wall. He's going to turn. Whitted comes in, picks it up. Comes back to Drexel, bounces out front, and the puck ends up right out front. Kings send it to the near side wall. Fewer gets there and chips it back down low. Puck behind the Kings net. They rim it hard to the far side. He's going to come out of the zone where Bisley's waiting. He's going to dump it back in. Rampage have to tag up. They're going to go for a change. Kings send it out of the zone, into the Rampage zone. Bisley picks it up, turns, fires off the near side boards. In the zone, doesn't connect, and that is going to be icing. So with 15:07 left in period number one, we're going to face off back in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Flanagan, Judkins, White, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw. White's going to flip it up in the air out to neutral ice. Gets knocked down, and the Kings are going to send it across to the far side. They chip it back into the Rampage zone. It goes deep. Bisley's going to get there. Sends it up the boards on the far side. Banyan off the wall. White collects it, and he's going to send it off the far side boards looking for Banyan. Banyan tips it into the zone. He's going to give chase down low in the corner. Flanagan gets a stick on it. Gets tied up in the far corner. Puck still tied up down low. Banyan's in there to help out. Flanagan's in there as well. Flanagan turns with it. Turns and sends it towards the goaltender, who's going to turn it aside to the near side. Kings on the near side wall. They're going to skate off the wall, up and out of the zone, cross the red line, and chip it into the Rampage zone. Kings get there first. Puck back into the near side corner. Kings dump it behind the Rampage net. Then it gets back there, gets a stick on it, and then Butler has to pick it up. Makes a turn behind the Rampage net to the far side. He tries to send a pass across, doesn't get much on it. Kings with the takeaway. They're going to dump it back into the Rampage zone. Rampage going for a change. Rahojian gets back to the puck. He's going to send it to the near side off the wall, and Kings keep it deep. Bennett tying things up down low. Kings push it to the far side and then up to the point on the far side wall. Shot goes wide of the net, ends up in the near side corner. Bennett is back there, sends it up the wall. Roberts off the wall. Kings with a takeaway. Pass across, and they send the shot up and over the net. Rahojian turns, he fires it up and out, goes off of a stick and into the Kings zone. Foster's going to get there first. Kings turn with it to the near side, send it up the near side wall, kick it off the wall, and now Whittingham turns it around. Little back and forth at neutral ice, and now Kings are going to try to recollect. Roberts takes a cross check while he's down on the ice. No call. Play continues. Quick steal by Dormer. He's coming back the other way. Dormer drives in down low, just taken off of his feet. No call. That one looked like a hook off of the skates, but what do I know? Puck goes up the far wall. Rampage hold it in, send it in from the blue line. Puck comes back out to the point on the far wall, gets tied up momentarily, and then turns, and Fewer takes a shot from the point. Goaltender makes a save. Puck comes to the near side wall. Whittingham down the wall. Friedis looking for Fewer. Doesn't connect. Comes out of the zone. Fewer turns around, dumps it in, and we get a whistle for icing. 12:25 left in period number one. Face-off will be in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Bisley, and Bennett. Rampage win the draw back in the corner. Bisley sends it up the wall. Drexel clears the zone. Kings are there first. Send it across to the near side. Blows a tire, and then Sarver centers the pass. Doesn't connect. Whitted was out front. Pass comes across, and then goes through to the near side wall. Whitted holds it in the zone. Kings have it on the near wall. Puck still tied up on the near side wall. Drexel tried to feed it through. Puck now out to neutral ice. Bisley with a takeaway. Skates to the near wall. Sarver turns, fires. Drex sends it in. Whitted on the forecheck. Puck still back behind the Kings net. It's going to roll up the wall on the near side. Out to neutral ice. Kings turn with it, and now they're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Fewer comes back for it. Skates behind his own net to the far side. Sends it back over looking for Butler. Butler off the wall. Picks it up. Skates out of the zone. Puck gets poke check back into the Rampage zone. Fewer comes back for it. Judkins has to come back. Sends it up the wall on the far side. A little bouncing around, and now Banyan sends it up out to neutral ice. Kings turn and fire it back into the Rampage zone. Butler picks it up down low, sends it to the near side. Puck down low in the corner. Flanagan has it. He turns, fires it across for Banyan. Banyan Draws it back in, takes the red line. He's going to send it into the King's zone and give chase. Puck bouncing around out front. Goaltender has to make a save on it. Kings are going to clear. Foster's going to get there. There will be no icing. Blows the tire just behind the Rampage net. Has to get it up, try to recollect the puck. He's got a player on him. He's going to skate it to the near side. Flanagan turns, fires it. Goes off the King's stick into the King's zone. Rahojan heavy on the forecheck. Puck down low in the King's zone. And it's going to go back behind the King's net to the far side, up and out to neutral ice, and through. Hay leaves it for White. White sends it up to Roberts. Roberts sends it cross ice off of Rahojan's stick. Kings knock it down, and it gets tied up on the far wall. Kings advance into the Rampage zone. They send it down the boards. It's going to end up in the near corner where White is there. Changes direction, and Bisley sends it up the wall on the far side, just out of the zone. Kings recollect at neutral ice. Make a quick move. They're into the Rampage zone. Send it in on net. White sends it off the wall, bounces up and out of the zone. Kings recollect in their own zone with it. Dormer applying pressure on the forecheck. Roberts gets in there, picks up the stick, makes a move into the corner. Roberts is down low. Comes up the near side wall. Dormer pulls it off the wall. Tries to sauce it over, looking for Whittingham. Just doesn't connect. Whittingham up to the point to Butler. Butler sends it in front of the blue line. Puck deflects wide of the net, ends up back behind. Kings recollect on the near side. They're going to send it up the near side wall up to neutral ice. Bennett takes the puck away, and then Dormer sends it across, looking for Whittingham. Butler has to get there, sends it up the wall. That's going to be icing. We get a whistle over face-off back in the Rampage zone. 8:59 left in period number 1. Out on this, we've got Whitted, Freitas, Drexel. Nope, sorry. Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Bennett, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Butler sends it back behind the Rampage net to the near side. Bennett gets there, sends it up to Sarver. Out of the zone, and Kings send it back in, but they have to tag up. Butler's going to make a move in the far side. Comes up the near side wall, held in the zone. Shot deflects off a body, ends up in the far corner. Up to the point on the far side, and shot comes up and out. Drexel trying to do battle. Puck bounces back into the Kings zone, and they send it up to neutral ice. Butler across to Bennett on the near side. Bennett takes the red line. He's going to dump it in. Puck rims around to the far wall where Drexel is waiting. Bounces it off, comes back to the wall, and up to the point. Butler sends it from the point. Whitted pulls it down, sends a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Bennett's there on the rebound. Goaltender makes a second save. Takes him a little bit to wrangle it in and cover it back up, but he does so, and we get a stoppage. 8:08 left in period number 1. Face-off in the Kings zone. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Judkins, Flanagan, White, and Fewer. Linesman saw something he didn't like in the face-off circle, so Rampage will get kicked out of the draw initially. Kings clear it up to White at the red line. White turns around, dumps it right back in. Flanagan gets there on the far wall. He's got a couple of players on him. Things get tied up. Comes up to the point. Fewer sends it across. White has to wrangle it back in at neutral ice. Kings send it back the other way. White's going to dump it into the zone. It ends up rolling on net. Kings goaltender turns to the side. They pick it up, skate it to the far wall, up and out of the neutral zone. Judkins over to White. White back to Flanagan off his skate into the Kings zone. Kings clear the zone again. Judkins ties things up on the far wall, sends it in the Kings zone. Kings send it off the wall to the near side. Stretch pass comes through. Quick move, and Kings are down low back behind the Rampage net. Turned and fired. Ends up on the near wall. Puck goes down low, back behind the Rampage net. Fewer turns with it, sends it up the wall on the far side, and Rahojan clears the zone with it. Kings recollect at neutral ice. They're going to chip it back into the Rampage zone. White sends it across to Bisley. Bisley turns, fires it up for Rahojan off his stick. Kings recollect, send it to the near side. Puck on the near side wall. Roberts turns, fires it into the zone. Rahojian on the forecheck. Kings send it across to the far side. Sauce the pass up and out. Across the red line. Into the Rampage zone offside, and we get a whistle. 6:34 left in period, and one faceoff will come outside the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahojian, Bisley, and Bennett. Kings win the draw. Send it up the near side wall. It's getting bounced back behind where Bisley gets there, sends it over to Bennett. Bennett up the wall on the near side. Roberts turns around, has to recollect in his own zone, turns towards the near side wall. He's got a little space. He's going to skate with it. Sends it up, goes off a Rahojian stick, bounces into the zone. Kings get there on the far side, send it over the near side. Through, Bennett sends it over to Butler. Butler up, looking for Foster, into the Kings zone, to the far wall. Kings are going to turn and send it back behind the net. Freitas is there, sauces it out front, just bouncing and doesn't quite connect. Kings out of the zone, Freitas with a takeaway. Dormer coming in with a little bit of speed, gets tripped up on his way in. No whistle. Should have been a tripping penalty, but they're going to let play continue. Kings to the near side. They're going to take the red line, dump it in. White sends it around to the far side corner. Up the wall on the far side. Back to Kings player. Shot taken. Hay with the save. And Dormer ties things up down low. Butler turns, sends it up off the wall. Whittingham clears the zone, gets tied up on the boards. A little back and forth, still tied up on the far wall. Kings come back into the zone. Dormer sends it across to the near side. Sarver chips it up to Whittingham. Whittingham's into the zone on the near side. He's going to drive it down low, send it out front, nobody home. Comes to the far side. Whitted puts it back down low, and Kings send it around to the near side wall. White holds things in the zone. Kings turn and fire. It was not tipped, but the linesman says it was. Fuhrer has to come all the way back into his zone. Off of Whitted skates, doesn't exit the zone. Fuhrer sends it up the boards, comes up but not out again. Kings still have it in the Rampage zone. Back down low, behind the Rampage net. To the far side, over to Drexel, and then Kings with the takeaway, and now it comes out of the zone. Sarver turns with it. Has to turn around back into his own zone and regroup. Over to Bennett on the near side. Bennett sends it across to Drexel. Drexel's into the zone for Whitted. Whitted over to Sarver. Sarver with the shot. Goaltender with the save. Nifty little pass move. Nothing to show for it yet. Puck bounces down low. Sarver keeps it in. He pushes it down back behind the Kings net to the near side. Sarver up to Bennett. Bennett across to Bisley. Bisley shot from the circle. Body's in the way. Bennett's going to send it down low. Whitted back up to Bisley at the point. Back to Whitted down low. Tries to feed it up front. Kings in the way. Kings turn, fire it up to the point. Comes out of the zone. Bisley knocks it down. Things get tied up on the near wall. Rampage tag up. Drexel's in the mix as well. Bouncing around. Drexel's going to recollect. He's back into the zone. Drexel with the, tries a backhand pass. Just doesn't quite connect. Judkins on the back door. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Butler wrangles it in at neutral ice. He's got players on. He turns, sends it over to Bisley. Bisley up in the air, gets knocked down with the high stick. Drexel's going to play it first. Play will continue. Flanagan picks it up. He's driving into the far side of the zone. Backhands it off the side of the net. Tries to follow up. Puck ends up behind the net. And then Kings poke it up into their own bench. That went off of a player on the bench. Play continues. Flanagan wrangles it in, sends it up the wall on the far side, banding it across to Judkins. Judkins backhands it just wide of the net. Puck comes up to Butler at the point. Butler over to Flanagan, takes a quick shot, goes wide. Butler centering pass, and now comes up and out of the zone. White wrangles it in, he's going to dump it. Rampage have to tag up. Kings goaltender holds it up behind his net. Kings send it across the far side. Roberts knocks it down. It's going to come to a Kings player. Skates into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. White gets his boots in the way of that shot. Puck gets sent around to the far side. Tied up on the far wall. Banyan and Butler are in there. Up to the point. Kings hold it in. Shot goes up and over to the near side wall. It's going to come out of the zone. No Kings players are waiting for it. They skate back into their own zone with it. Send it up the near side wall. Puck bouncing around. Goes to the far side. Shot taken. And that one's going to go in. So with 1:34 left in period number 1, Kings are going to go up by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, I think I'll try the next one.
What's that? Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind coming out here. All right, out on the ice, we've got Friedis, Whittingham, Dormer, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage player with a broken stick. I'm sorry, maybe that was a Junior Kings broken stick, I think, being collected. Rampage win the draw. Back to Bennett. Across to Bisley. Up to neutral ice. Kings coming back the other way. They're into the Rampage zone with it. Quick shot. Hay with the save. He's going to hang on. 1:23 left in period number 1. Face off being a Rampage zone. Going to get a quick change. We've got Whitted, Drexel, Server coming out to join Bisley and Bennett. Puck goes back into the corner. Up the near side wall, off the wall to Drexel. Drexel skating through with speed. Quick poke check. Kings turn it around. Clear the zone. Bennett's got it on the near side. Sends it over to Butler. Butler up the far wall, off of Drexel's stick into the Kings zone. Kings turn at the wall. They're going to send it just off the wall, recollect back behind their net, and then send it up the near side. Stretch pass goes off the body. Kings recollect on the near side. They're in the Rampage zone, near side corner. Pass out, and they signal goal. They knocked it down, but I don't think he knew where it was. So 47 seconds left in period number 1. The Kings go up by 2-0, and the Rampage boys have some catching up to do.
It's not this long.
Sorry. Oh, not going to do it for, yeah. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Banyan, White, and Fewer. Rampage win the draw. Over to White on the near side, up the wall, off of the stick, and into the Kings zone. Kings send it around to the far side. Banyan ties things up on the far wall momentarily. Puck is sitting free and now gets held in. Flanagan tries to drive it down. It looks like Banyan picks it up, sends it back behind the Kings net. Kings change direction. Puck comes up and out of the zone. White recollects, sends it to the near side. Puck back into the Rampage zone. Judkins gets there. Bounces off the wall. White has to skate over, pick it up. He sends it across to Banyan. Banyan puts a shot on net. Goaltender makes a save. It goes up into the netting and out of play. 4.6 seconds left in period number 1. We're going to face off in the Kings zone. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Rahosian, Roberts, White, and Bisley. Quick shot off the face-off. Goes through to the near side wall. White turns shots, shoots. That one goes wide, and time expires on period number 1. So your score after 1 is 2-0 in favor of the LA Junior Kings. And I will say, I'm not really loving what I'm seeing so far. We are a better team than what we are playing right now. And not for nothing, but at least according to the rankings, which don't mean much to me, this LA Junior Kings team is the worst team that we're going to play this weekend. So Rampage have a lot of picking things up to do. So hopefully coach is cracking the whip here a little bit and trying to get the boys motivated. We are capable of playing much better hockey than what we're playing right now. And we are not getting an ice cut in between periods, which makes me believe that we will get an ice cut halfway through the second, which is a format that I don't care for. But I also know it just doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't now, it hasn't in the past, and it probably never will in the future. Out on the ice to get us started for this second period, we've got Dormer, Whittingham, Freitas, Butler, and White, and of course Mr. Parker Hay between the pipes. Right up on the draw, Kings come out of the pile with it. They're going to skate to the far side. They're into the Rampage zone down low. Up the wall, Freitas turns, tries to feed it for Dormer, just didn't connect on the pass, and it ends up back in the near side corner. Big hit, and now Kings shoot from the point. Hay turns it aside. Puck bouncing around back behind the Rampage net. Over to the far side, Freitas changes direction with it, skates down low, gets tied up. Kings with a takeaway. They skate back behind the Rampage net to the near side, up to the point. Shot from up high, body's in the way. Bounces out front, and now Freitas is going to recollect. He's across the red line. He's into the zone, over to Whittingham. Shot taking, goaltender with a save. Rebounds there. Dormer comes in, pushes it down low in the corner. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Butler has to come back for it. He's going to skate back into his own zone on the far side. Puck bounces right out front. Shot goes up and over, ends up on the far wall. Whitted off the wall for Butler. Butler up to Drexel. Drexel feeds it across for Whitted. Whitted's into the zone. Oh, shot. Actually went off of a Kings skate. Goaltender makes a save. Drexel with the shot. Sarver with the shot. Sarver with another shot. And goaltender makes a couple of saves. Rampage with some excellent opportunity right there. Just a flurry of shots. LA Junior Kings goaltender is up to the task. 15:31 left in period number 2. We'll have a face-off in the Kings zone with Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Fewer, and Bennett. Tied up on the draw. It's going to come up to Fewer at the point. He's going to tip it across. Whitted turns, fires it wide of the net. Drexel gets to it in the far corner. He turns, makes a move at the wall. Down low, puck back behind the Kings net. Drexel gets to it, skates to the near side, sends it up to Fewer. Fewer, shot gets deflected just wide of the net. Sarver recollects. Up to Fewer at the point, back down the wall, back up to Fewer. Fewer sends it in to tips up and over. It's going to end up on the far wall. Back to Whitted. Whitted with the quick shot. Goaltender with a save. He backhands it across the crease and into the near side. Sarver picks it up on the near side wall. He makes a move down low in the corner. Turns around with it up to Fewer at the point. Fewer takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He's going to hang on. 14:46 left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Junior Kings zone. Rampage starting to warm up a little bit. I forgot to change it.
I got it.
You got the period?
Yeah. Teamwork.
Excellent. Excellent. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Judkins, Flanagan, Bisley, and White. Puck bounces out front, bouncing around. It's going to come up and out of the zone. Bisley wrangles it in, turns to the near side, and now little back and forth. King sent it across to the far side. Banyan with a poke check is going to bring it into the zone. Daniel gets there, tries to wrangle it in. Puck bounces out front. And now Flanagan holds it in, dumps it deep. King sent it across the far side wall. And just out of the zone, gets tied up, and now White's going to recollect. He turns, he's back in the King's zone. White makes a move to the near side. Shot taken, goaltender to the save. King's sending the rebound to the near side wall. Bisley's going to chip it back into the corner. Kings make a move to the near side wall. They're going to turn and skate with it. A poke check is going to send it to the far side. Butler turns, sends it off of the linesman in the way, and now Kings recollect. Now Flanagan is going to chip it in. Kings recollect in their zone. Rampage going for a change. Kings send the stretch pass to the near side. Quick shot. Hay with the save. It's going to bounce out front. Rahojan wrangles it in. Skates behind the Rampage net to the near side. Rahojan makes a move. He's out to neutral ice. He's across the red line. He's into the Kings zone on the far side. Rahojan recollects the puck. He's back behind the net. Skates to the near side. Rahojan turns, fires, goes off a body to the far wall. Bennett skating down low. Sends a pass across, looking for Rahojan. Foster holds it at the point. He drives it down the far wall, off the wall, and now a quick poke check. Kings coming back the other way. Held up at neutral ice. A little back and forth. Roberts is in the mix, and so is Butler. It's going to bounce off the wall. Bennett picks it up, takes the red line and dumps it in. Rims around to the far side. Foster pushes it back behind the Kings net and gives chase. Change of direction. Rahojan wrangles it in. Gets tied up on the far wall. Roberts comes in to help out. He sends it behind the Kings net. Kings recollect the puck. They're going to skate to the near side. Up and out of the zone. And it's going to come across to Dormer. Dormer turns, takes the red line, chips it in. He's going to get chase. Kings goaltender sends it to the near side. Whittingham down the wall. Sends it low in the corner on the far side, up to the point. White holds it at the point, but now Kings are going to recollect. They're through neutral, into the Rampage zone. Far circle, shot taken. Hay with the save. He has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. And about a week later, our big fat official makes it into the zone. Catch up with everybody. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Fewer, and White. Puck down low in the corner and then gets sent up the blue line but not out. Goes off of Dormer's skates. Dormer's got a little bit of room. He's into the zone all by himself. Dormer with a quick move. Goaltender with a save. Dormer recollects the puck. Turns, fires. And that one's going to go in. Gavin Dormer with the takeaway, with the shot. Recollects his own goal. 12:02. And Dorm Room himself gets the boys on the board for the first time this weekend. And my expert camera worker is going to put the goal up on the board for me. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Bennett, and Bisley. Boys are starting to wake up a little bit. I can feel it. Tied up on the draw. Kings are going to skate out into the Rampage zone on the far side. Held up on the far wall. Sent down low. Pass across, goes off the stick, comes up and out of the zone. Kings have to come back to their own zone for it. Off the wall on the near side. Back into the zone. Kings are going to drop it down low. Up and out to neutral ice into the Rampage zone on the far side. Quick poke check, and it's on the boards. Sarver returns with it. He skates out of the zone. Takes the red line on the far side. He's going to skate the far wall to Whitted. Whitted takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Off the wall, Sarver recollects. Kings are going to pick up the puck. They skate to the near side. They're through neutral, across the red line into the Rampage zone. Puck goes down low, but doesn't quite make it through. Goes into the corner. Whitted sends it up the wall on the far side, and Kings are there waiting for it. Puck comes down low into the corner. Out front, shot taken off a body, doesn't make it through. Whitted up, looking for Sarver. Puck on the far wall. And now Drexel's going to wrangle it in. Sends it up to neutral. Kings coming back the other way. Back into the Rampage zone. Up the wall on the near side. And now it comes up and out of the zone. This will be icy. 10:37 left in period number 2. We get a whistle for icing. Faceoff will be back in the Kings zone. Or I'm sorry, in the Rampage zone. and we'll get some fresh skaters out on the ice. We've got Judkins, Flanagan, Fewer, Banyan, and White. Tied up, down low in the corner. Fewer sends it up the near side wall. Kings hold it at the point. Off the wall, and now Fewer clears the zone, sends a pass across. Kings coming back the other way. They're going to chip it into the Rampage zone. White has to get after it in the corner down low. Judkins picks up the puck. He's going to turn with it. Judkins turns. Sauces the puck up. Goes off of body. It bounced again out of play. But they're not blowing the whistle when it bounced off the stanchions or players on the bench. Fewer recollects. He turns, sends it back into the Kings zone. Goaltender drops it for his defenseman. Goes across to the far wall. Puck up and out of the zone. Kings with it. Into the Rampage zone on the far side. Shot goes off the body into the corner. Left in the corner. Banyan turns, sends it up. It bounces up but not out. And now it's going to clear the zone. Kings will get there. Back to a Kings player on the far side. They're going to poke it into the Rampage zone. Bennett picks it up. Kings going for a change. Bennett skates to the near side. Off the wall for Rahosian. Rahosian's into the zone. Stuck on the near side wall. Goes back down into the corner. Foster's in there to try to mix things up. A couple of Kings players in there. One of them without a stick. Puck comes up the near side. Off the wall. Kings wrangle it in. They're into the Rampage zone. They were offside. The ref was not looking at the player that was offside. However, play continues. Puck bounce around out front. It's going to bounce towards Hay, who has to cover it up. So with 8:52 left in period number 2, we get a stoppage, and I think we'll have an ice cut. Maybe we're going to let it get below 8:30. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Roberts, Rahosian. Nope, we're getting some change. Coach thinks that we're supposed to have an ice cut also, and I agree. Typically, it's anytime below 9 minutes, but what does anybody know? Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Whittingham, Friedis, Butler, and White. Puck goes back behind the Rampage net. Butler has it on the near side, up to Whittingham. He sends a pass across, looking for Dormer. Friedis tries to send it off the wall. Kings skated down low, up to the near side. White across to Butler. Butler makes a quick move. White's going to recollect the puck. Quick poke check. Kings coming back the other way. Into the Rampage zone on the near side. Puck goes down low. Kings send it up front. Sends a shot up and over. Ends up on the far wall. Quick poke check. It's going to bounce out of the zone. Kings recollect. Across to the near side. Pass across back to the far side. Kings player blows the tire. Butler has it in his own zone. Sends it off the wall to the near side. It comes up to the point, but not out. Rings around to the far side corner. The Kings player blew a tire and Butler tripped over him. Comes right out to a Kings player again. Kings out front. Shot bounces, just gets deflected up and over the net. Back to Butler. He's going to send it up the wall. Sarver gets there, and Sarver clears. Bunch of tired Rampage players. Kings send it across to the near side. Back into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Hay with the save. Goes to the far wall. Sarver's going to poke check it and recollect. He's in the Kings zone. Sauces it over for Whitted. Whitted makes a move. Goal tip, and that one goes in! You got to keep up with the puck strikes! Holy crap! Man in stripes can't call the goal good because he's still in Wisconsin. 7:14 left in period number 2. We do have a Rampage goal. So we should have an ice cut now, and when we come back, it's going to be 2-2. He's not even in the same state as the puck. Well, they never called anything because he was like in the lobby. So they don't have the goal up on the. Now they put it up on the board. Okay, so they did call it a good goal. I can calm down a little bit now. All right, we'll get a nice cut. We'll see you guys back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go on mute for the next little bit.
I got it.
You're on mute? All right, folks, welcome back as we get ready to start the second half of the second period. We've got 7 minutes and 14 seconds up on the board. Currently, the score is all tied up. We ended just before the ice break with our second goal of the game going to Whitted from Sarver. And I will calm down a little bit. I got a little heated with our big fat ref that can't keep up with the game today. I was really worried they were going to not give credit to that goal because the ref was not in a position to see it. However, everything's good. The world is good. We're at 2-2, halfway through the game. And we will get started with the second half here shortly. And I am going to go back and assume my viewing area down front. Out on the ice to get it started for this second half of the second period, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Friedis, Butler, and White, and Hay in between the pipes. This officiating staff sponsored by Al's Beef and Nancy's Pizza. Kings win the draw back to the far wall. Tipped through. Dormer blows the tire, tries to recollect, and Kings with the steal. They're into the zone. Kings with the shot. Hay knocks it down and ends up on the near side wall. Whittingham sends it up and out. Dormer's got it. He's into the zone. Dormer skates to the far side. Shot taken. Ends up back in the corner. On the far wall, Dormer makes a move. Pass deflects off a stick. Ends up on the near corner. Friedis up to Butler. Butler apparently did not hold it at the blue line. I couldn't see it, but apparently it came out. So 6:42 left in period number 2. We're going to face off outside the King zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Sarver, Whitted, Bennett, and Fewer. Quick steal. Sarver's got it into the zone. Skates to the far side. Sarver tries to take a shot. Puck ends up low and on the far wall. Whitted down to Drexel. Drexel makes a move back behind. Feeds it out front. Puck ends up wide of the net. Comes up to Whitted. Whitted with the shot. Goes just wide of the net. Puck rims around the far wall. Up and bounces out of play. That went off of a player on the bench. That's out of play. But we don't have a stoppage. Puck back into the Kings zone. They allow it to continue. This one worked out in our favor, but it's still wrong. Kings skate it to the far side. They're out of their zone. Across the red line. Into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Hay has it in his glove. We'll get a stoppage and a face-off in the Rampage zone with exactly 6 minutes left in period number 2. That's 3 different times that the puck has gone off of a player on the bench or something, and they just allow play to continue. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Banyan, White, Judkins, and Bennett, Bisley. Crap, I couldn't tell who was on the ice on the far side. Still in the Rampage zone. Puck goes down low. It's going to go to the far side. Bisley picks it up in the far corner, up the wall, but not out. Bisley tries to recollect, sends it off the boards up to neutral ice. Kings come back into their own zone to recollect. Banyan on the forecheck. Kings skate behind their net, send the puck to the near side. Flanagan gets in there, keeps it down low. Puck bounces out, and Kings are going to turn and skate with it. They're through the neutral zone, into the Rampage zone on the near side. Centering pass ends up in the corner. Up the near side and goes back down into the corner and behind the Rampage net. White picks it up. He's going to turn, skate to the far side, changes directions. Bisley has to come back for it. Sends it up the near side wall, comes up and out, and it gets deflected, goes the distance. Play will continue. Judkins heavy on the forecheck. Bounces out to Flanagan. He turns, fires it down the wall. Banyan gets there, tries to feed it out front, nobody home. Puck bounces up and out of the zone. Butler over to White on the near side. White's going to dump it. Rampage has to tag up. Puck in on the far side. Foster's going to hold it at the point. He drives it down the wall. And now Kings chip it up and out of the zone. Bennett sends it in hard on the near side. Rampage have to tag up. Kings send it across to the far side. They're into the Rampage zone. Puck bounces around to the near side. Rahojan picks it up, sends it up the boards. Kings skated off the wall. They're going to make a move across to the far side. Shot taken, and that one's going to go in. So with 4:12 left in period number 2, the Kings go up, back up by a goal, 3-2. Is the tripod loose?
It's a little loose.
Does it?
At times, it's kind of weird.
You know what? It might be loose down here. Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I'm not sure. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Friedis, Fewer, and White. Go back and forth at neutral ice. Kings are going to turn around. They're back into the Rampage zone on the near side. Shot taken. Hay gets a piece of it. Goes to the far wall. Comes up and out of the zone. The Kings regroup and dump it back in and have to let it go as they didn't tag up. White skates to the near side. Over to Whittingham. He's going to chip it into the zone on net. Goaltender's going to hang on. And we'll get a stoppage and a face-off. And White takes a little shove after the whistle, even though he very clearly stayed off. The goaltender, 3:47 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got, I think, the same crew as before. We've got Whittingham, Dormer, Friedis, Fewer, and White. Tied up on the draw, comes up to the point and sneaks past and out. Kings coming back the other way with speed. And a nice poke check by Trent White to take the puck away. He's going to send it across to Friedis. Friedis is into the zone. Puck bouncing around. It's going to end up on a Kings player's stick. They skate it back behind their net to the far side. Up and out. Back. Recollect. They're into the Rampage zone. That was offside, and now they're going to tag it. White has it down low. I'm sorry, that's Fewer has it down low. Whittingham pulls it off the boards across for White on the far side. He's in the zone. Shot taken, bouncing around out front. Whitted can't get a stick on it. He's waiting for it. Kings chip it into the Rampage zone. Puck down low into the corner. Drexel's going to get there, skates it to the far side, sends it up, goes off of the skate and out of the zone. Kings regroup at neutral ice, send it in on the near side. And we have a whistle for icing. Face-off should come out to the center dot, I believe. 2:47 left. I'm sorry, it's going to go back in the Kings zone. I don't know what I'm thinking. 2:47 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Server, Bisley, and Bennett. Rampage win the draw up to Bisley. Tries to center it. Body's in the way now. Drexel tries to take a shot. Bisley tries to take a shot. Whitted doing battle down low. Kings hit it to the near side wall. Clearing attempt comes up and out. Whitted sends it across. Bennett coming in on the far side. He's going to drive it down the wall into the corner. Kings send it way up in the air out to neutral ice. And we have a hand pass. 2:21 left in period number 2. We have a hand pass, so we'll have a stoppage and a face-off. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Bennett, Butler, Banyan, and Judkins. And a little back and forth. Now Kings send it back into their own zone across to the far side. Off the far wall, they turn and fire it. That was icing, but play will continue. They waved it off, even though he was a good 10 feet behind the line. Bouncing around. Now Banyan's going to wrangle it in. He's going to poke it into the zone. Judkins will get there first. He's got a player on him. Sends it up the wall on the near side. And Kings send it up and down the wall. It's into the Rampage zone. Nice poke check by Fewer. Up to Butler. Butler makes a quick move. Puck goes to the far side. It's going to bounce up and off the wall. Fewer gets there up to Banyan. Banyan turns around. Andy down the near side wall. He's into the zone. Sends it up to the point. Fewer across to the far side. White sends a shot. Goes off a stick. And Kings are going to recollect. They send a stretch pass. It bounces off a stick. And Hay is going to cover it up. 1:22 left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Roberts, Rahosian, Bisley, and White. Puck bounces out to Roberts. He collects. He's going to skate up and out of the zone with it. Rampage have numbers in the zone. Pass across, looking for Foster. Puck up to the point. And now Kings clear it out. Rahosian coming in is going to pick it up. He turns with it, sends it over to Bisley on the near side. Bisley chips it off the wall into the zone. Foster gives chase down low. Puck back behind the Kings net now. Foster's in there doing battle. Goes to the far side. Kings toss it out to neutral ice. They're into the Rampage zone on the near side. Puck deflects down into the corner and up the near side wall. It's going to come out of the zone. Play will continue. Rahosian giving chase on the forecheck. Player blows the tire. Kings send it across to the near side. Shot, body's in the way. Now the puck ends up in the near side corner. Roberts turns, fires it around, and goes up the far wall to the point. Shot taken, Hay with the save, and now he's going to cover it up. So we get a whistle on the stoppage. 9 seconds left in period number 2, face-off in the Rampage zone. We'll get a couple of fresh skaters out on the ice. So we got Friedis, Dormer, Whittingham, Bennett, and Butler. Back into the corner. Bennett sends it up the wall. Kings are there. Pass out to center. Gets deflected out. Dormer over to Whittingham on the near side. Whittingham back, and time expires on period number 2. So your score after 2 is 3-2 in favor of the LA Junior Kings. Rampage once again find themselves in a position where they have some catching up to do. Once again, today's ref sponsored by Al's Beef and Nancy's Pizza. I will tell you that we have yet to see a penalty called on either team through 2 periods of hockey. And it hasn't been a real bad game. For the most part, they're letting them play. There are a handful of calls I think they should have blown the whistle on, but overall it hasn't been a bad game. But the man with orange stripes on his sleeve probably wouldn't know that either because he hasn't been in the right time zone to see most of it. Out on the ice to get us started for period number 3, we've got Friedis, Dormer, Whittingham, Butler, and White. Parker Hay in net. Kings win the draw back into their own zone. Up the near side wall. It's tied up just outside the zone. White is going to dump it into the Kings zone. Rampage give chase. Whittingham gets here on the far side wall. Sends it back into the corner. Kings clear the zone with it. They're on the far side wall into the Rampage zone. Centering pass comes through to the near side. Whittingham clears the zone. Kings send it across to the far side. Fanned on the pass. Up to Whittingham. A little back and forth. Dormer's going to drive it into the zone. Goes down into the corner. and to the near side. Winningham's going to get there. He's got a player on him. He sends it back behind the net. Dormer's there. Sends the puck out front. Server's in there. Got a shot. Goaltender made a save. And now the Kings are going to clear at the distance. And we get a whistle for icing. 15:58 left in period number 3. Faceoff will be back in the Kings zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Fewer, and Bennett. Linesman didn't like something he saw on the Kings side, so they will be tossed out of the circle and get a replacement. Second time today we've seen that. Puck down low, Drexel with a shot, ends up on the near side wall, comes up and out of the zone. Bennett turns around, sends it back into the zone. Rampage has to tag up. They do so. Puck to the far side. Kings send a stretch pass to the far side wall. They're in 2-on-1 in the zone. Hay makes a save. It ends up in the far corner. Puck bounces up, and now Drexel comes out of the zone. He's got Sarver with him. Drexel over to Sarver on the near side. Sarver takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. It's going to hang on, and we get a stoppage. 15:32 left in period number 3. We'll get a face-off in the Kings zone. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Bennett, Fewer, Judkins, and Banyan. Kings send it out to the far side. They dump it into the zone. Hayes going to knock it down. Bennett sends it up the wall on the near side, comes out to neutral. It's going to bounce off the wall. It's in the zone. Banyan's in there, gets a stick in the mix, and now Kings send it to the far side corner. They clear the zone with it, comes back to Bennett. Bennett turns around, sends it up to Banyan, off his stick into the zone. Flanagan giving chase down low. Kings send it to the far side, bounces off the wall, and now Kings are out of the zone with it. Into the Rampage zone, centering pass intercepted by Butler, and Flanagan is going to clear the zone. Flanagan with the takeaway, and Rampage are offside. Didn't look like it to me, but again, doesn't matter what I think. 14:48 left in period number 3. We're going to face off just outside the Junior King zone. On the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Bisley, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Kings come skating through into the Rampage zone. They're going to take the far side, end up down in the corner. Puck goes off the side of the net, ends up back behind. Butler tying things up down low. He's got Foster in there. Foster sends it to the corner. Looks like the Kings turned it around, and now Rahosian knocks it down, takes the puck away. Skates to the near side. Rahosian's out of the zone, and the Kings with the takeaway. They're coming back the other direction. Shot goes up and over, ends up on the far wall. Rahosian gets there, fans on the pass, and now Foster picks it up. He's going to skate it out of the zone. He's through neutral into the King zone on the far side. Shot, goaltender makes a save, and it comes out to the corner. Kings have it back. Out to neutral ice. They're going to tip it into the Rampage zone and give chase. White gets there on the near side, sends a stretch pass for Roberts. Into the zone. It's on the near side wall. Puck ends up down low. Kings skate it to the far side, send a centering pass, and they're going to skate it out of the zone and chip it into the Rampage zone. Puck comes across to the near side. Butler wrangles it in. Up to Whittingham. Whittingham's through neutral. Over to looking for Dormer, just outside the reach, and pucks on the near side wall. Up to White. White takes a shot from the point, off of a body. It's going to bounce out of the zone. Kings coming back the other way. Fewer gets there, the far wall, up to Freitas. Freitas turns with it. He skates out of the zone, sends a pass across for Whittingham. Whittingham's in the zone on the far side. Shot taken, goes up and over, ends up on the near side wall. Puck out to neutral. Bennett turns it around for Dormer. Tied up on the near side wall, and now it's going to get flipped into the Kings zone. Kings pick it up behind their net, send it to the far side. Up and out. Quick steal by Drexel. Has to wait for everybody to tag up. He does so. Kings with a takeaway coming back the other direction. Into the Rampage zone. Towards the goaltender. Hay makes a save, and now he's going to cover it up. The official cannot dictate that he continues playing the puck. 12:36 left in period number 3. Hay had it in his glove for a week and a half. You got to keep up, man. Seriously. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw off the board. Takes a weird bounce. It's into the Kings zone. Drexel giving chase. He's going to get their first quick shot. Goalie makes a save. Sarver with the shot. Goalie makes a second save. He's going to hang on to that one. Drexel, with the head of steam, takes advantage of the weird bounce into the Kings zone. But the goaltender's up to the task, makes a couple of nice saves. We get a face-off in the Kings zone now. 12:25 left in period number 3. Kings send it up the wall. It's up and out of the zone. That one's going to go the distance. They waved off icing. Up and out. Whitted's got it. He's out to neutral ice. Whitted's into the zone. Recollects in the corner. Whitted on the near side wall. Feeds it down looking for Drexel. Drexel skates off the wall. Shot taken. Goalie has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. 12 minutes exactly left in period number 3. We get some fresh skaters out on the ice. We've got Banyan, Judkins, Flanagan, Butler, and White out to take over. Rampage win the draw to White of the point. Shot goes off a body, bounces to a Kings player. And now a quick takeaway. Butler changes direction, and Flanagan skates through. Drops it, looking for Judkins, just don't quite connect. And now the puck comes up to neutral ice. Sit over off the wall. Flanagan's going to chip it in. Kings get there first. They send it around to the far side. And the ref is in the way because he hasn't moved in like 15 minutes of gameplay so far. Tied up down low in the corner. Goes back behind the net. Kings hit it up the near side, up and out. They wave it off. Hay plays it to the near side wall. Comes to a Kings player. Puck goes to the far corner. Up to the blue line. Shot. Hay has it in his glove, and now we're going to get a whistle. Out on the ice, we've got Bennett, Fewer, Rahosian, Foster, and Roberts. Back down low, gets tied up. Back behind the Rampage net now. Bennett's going to pick it up, skates to the near side. Bennett sends it looking for Rahosian, doesn't connect. I think that's going to be icing, and indeed it is. So with 10:55 left in period number 3, we'll have a face-off back in the Rampage zone. Same crew out as before. Foster, Rahosian, Roberts, Bennett, and Fewer. Puck goes to the outside wall. Kings recollect. Skate it to the near side. Kings turn off the wall with it. Take a shot. Body's in the way. Rahosian eats that one all day long. Puck down into the corner on the far side. Centering pass for the Kings. Quick move made. Shot goes up and over. Ends up on the near side wall. Shot from the point. Goes off a skate and ends up wide of the net. Rahosian turns with it. He's going to skate it. Takes the red line. He's going to chip it in. He didn't quite have the red line, so we get a whistle for icing. Face off back in the Rampage zone. 10:08 left in period number 3. Out on the ice, we've got Freitas, Whittingham, Dormer, Butler, and Bisley. Kings make a quick move. Shot deflects up and over. And then Bisley makes a move in the corner. He's going to change directions. Over to Butler on the far side. Butler up the wall looking for Whittingham. Play will continue. Freitas is heavy on the forecheck. Puck down low. Kings send it up the near side. Bisley gets there, sends it back down the wall. Dormer has it in the corner. I'm sorry, that's Freitas. Sends it out front. Comes up to Butler. Butler with a shot. Goes up and over. Kings through with a little bit of speed. Get ridden just wide of the net. Whittingham's going to send it to the far wall. Freitas turns back to Whittingham. Whittingham across for Dormer. Dormer for Butler. Butler's in on the near side. Butler makes a move out front. Takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck comes up and out. White's going to collect it in his own zone. Sends a pass across. Kings are waiting for it. So they dump it back into the Rampage zone. Butler has to pick it up behind his net. He's got two players on him. Sends it to the far side. Comes up and out of the zone. Drexel across to Sarver. Sarver's into the zone on the near side. Sarver takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. It's bouncing around. And Whitted tried to send it back, and I think the goalie was sitting on top of it. Maybe has it stuck in his pads. 8:48 left in period number 3. I tend to agree with our parents sitting behind me that it was clearly stuck in his pads, which were across the line. And if we had instant replay, I think that would be a goal. But in this case, nothing doing. I don't think it's. We've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, White, and Fewer. Over to Drexel. Drexel skates to the far side. He's into the zone. Sends it down the wall for Whitted. Whitted tries to send a pass across. Body's in the way. It's going to come up and out of the zone. Fewer turns around, sends it up the near side wall. It's back into the zone. Whitted gets there. Whitted sends it across. Drexel takes a shot, goes off a skate and wide. Puck gets flipped up and out of the zone and out of play. Fans are reminded to make sure you have your head on a swivel. I was just a little behind it, just a little slow. I don't think we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Banyan, Bisley, and Bennett. I think a podcast would be easier. Puck comes up to the blue line, but not out. Over to Bennett. Bennett feeds it down low. Goalie makes a save. Bouncing around out front. Kings are going to send it to the far wall. They chip it, and it comes up and out. Kings across to the near side there into the Rampage zone. Bennett skates into the far side. Just under 8 minutes left in the game. Bennett flips it up. It's into the zone. Banyan's going to get there. Back behind the net. Flanagan gets there as well. Banyan's in to help out. Things are tied up behind the Kings goaltender. And we have a penalty. We get a stoppage for roughing. So 7:41, we are going to get our first penalty of the game for either team. And I believe it's going against the Rampage. Nope, I'm sorry. It's going against the Kings. So Rampage will be on the power play. Out on the ice to start the power play. We've got Freitas, Banyan, Dormer, Whittingham, and White. Hopefully the Rampage boys power play can get something going, as this is our first chance at it. Tied up on the draw. Kings send it hard around the wall to the near side. White holds it at the blue line. Gets poked back to him. Whittingham blew a tire, but manages to get the puck back. Over to White. Over to Dormer. Down low to Whittingham. Whittingham turns. And now Kings send it up the near side. Freitas off the wall to White. Centering pass for Whittingham on the backhand. Goes wide of the net. And now White holds it at the blue line. White doing a great job of keeping it in the zone. Puck down low. Freitas for White. White across to Dormer on the far side. Dormer skates to the near side, drops it for Freitas. Freitas takes a shot, deflects off the stick, up into the netting and out of play. 6:57 in the game, 1:17 left on the power play, and we'll get a fresh power play unit out on the ice. We've got Whitted, Sarver, Drexel, Judkins, and Butler. Rampage win the draw, comes up and out of the zone. Butler's going to have to come back for it and regroup. He resets back behind his net. Butler skates to the far side. He's through the neutral. He's into the Rampage or the King zone. Rampage are offside. .58 seconds left on the power play. Faceoff will come outside the Junior King zone. Puck bounces into the King zone. They send it up the wall. It comes to Judkins. Judkins over to Butler. Butler turns, sends it off the wall to Drexel on the near side. Drexel to Sarver. Sarver collects. He's into the zone. Feeds it up the wall looking for Drexel. Back down low, and the Kings are going to turn and send it the distance. 42 seconds left on the power play. Hay is going to drop it for Butler. Butler turns, sends it up to Drexel. Drexel makes a move. He's through neutral. He's into the King zone on the near side. Drexel skates down low. He's behind the net. Up to the point to Butler. He gets tipped up and out of the zone. Drexel has to send it back to Butler. Sarver picks it up. He turns. He's back into the zone. Sarver on the near side. Sarver skates it down low. He's behind the King's net. Sarver turns, looks, skates to the far side, up to the blue line, comes up and out of the zone. Butler back over to Whitted. Whitted over to Drexel. Drexel's in the zone. Shot taken goes just wide of the net, comes up the boards, and the Kings are back at full strength. Into the Rampage zone, and now it gets poke check back out again. Kings regroup. That was too many men on the ice, but we won't get a call for that. Tied up on the near side. Foster's in there with Sarver. Puck tied up on the boards. Kings turn with it. And then it's in the Rampage zone. We do have a penalty coming. 5:06 left in period number 3. We've got another penalty coming to the Junior Kings for a pretty heavy slash. The ref waited until all of our parents had some discontent about the no call before he made the call. Nonetheless, we'll take it. So 5:06 left in the game. Rampage are going to go on our second power play of the game. Free to send Banyan over as the captain and alternate. They have the right to be involved in the conversation with the men in stripes. We have the linesman explaining the call to the coach from the Junior Kings, which is actually the official's job, but he's signaling that the slash was to the neck area, which I believe we're going to see a 2-10 call. And we are, they're actually ejecting this player from the game. So, which if it is a 2-10 call, it may be for that. I don't know if it's an automatic game ejection or if it's just because we're below 10 minutes left in the third period. 5:06 left in the third. The official is now explaining to the leadership from each team. Which on our side is Jack Banyan, wearing a brand new C this weekend. Congratulations to Mr. Banyan for that. Out on the ice to start of the power play, we've got Freitas, Whittingham, Banyan, Dormer, and White. Rampage down by 1 and has some catching up to do. Only 5 minutes to do so. The scorekeeper is attempting to put times up on the board, but I think she needs some clarification as to what the time is. 5 minutes, so we got a 5-minute major on that one. So it was a game objection. Up to Dormer at the point, across to White. White down to Freitas. Centering pass, looking for Whittingham. Stick got lifted, and now Dormer regains the puck out at neutral ice. Rampage have to tag up. Dormer to the near side to Freitas. Puck comes back up out. Banyan regains the puck in his own zone. He's going to skate to the far side, sends it up to Whittingham. Whittingham chips it. Kings turn and fire at the distance. So Rampage will basically spend the rest of this game minus a few seconds on the power play with a 5-minute major. So we very, very much need to take advantage of this. Whittingham down the wall on the near side. Up to White, to Dormer, back to White, goes out of the zone. White has to recollect. White skates to the far side, chips it into the zone. Dormer sends it down the wall. He's into the corner with it. He skates back behind the Kings net. Puck bounces out front, and then the goaltender's going to cover it up. 4:03 left in the game. We'll get a fresh power play unit out on the ice. We've got Drexel, Sarver, Judkins, Bennett, and Whitted. Puck goes down low into the corner. Whitted feeds it up the boards, looking for Drexel. Kings turn, unable to clear. Judkins sends it back down again. Now the Kings are going to clear. Puck back in the Rampage zone. 3:45 left on the power play, 3:49 in the game. Drexel turns, sends it across to the far side to Judkins. Judkins is into the zone, holds up on the far wall, makes a quick move down the wall. Judkins holds up to Bennett at the blue line. Cross to Drexel. Doesn't connect on the shot attempt. Whitted out front looking for Sarver. Sarver wiggles it in, shot taken, and we got a quick whistle. It fell in front of the goaltender. He didn't have it covered up, but then he did immediately after the whistle anyhow, so no harm, no foul. 3:22 left on the power play. We're going to face off in the Kings zone. Same group out as before. Puck comes up to the point to Bennett. Bennett across to Judkins. Judkins back to Bennett. Bennett turns, shot. Goaltender has it. He's going to hang on. We'll get another face-off in the King zone. 3:18 left in the game. 3:12 on the power play. Puck goes to the near side wall. Kings clear it up and out. There's a Kings player in the zone. Judkins has to hustle. He's got a Kings player on him. Kings with a quick takeaway, and Hay with a nice poke check. Judkins turns to the near side. Up to Sarver. Comes to Drexel. Up to Sarver. Sarver's into the zone on the near side. Holds up the wall. Comes up to the point and out. And Rampage power play unit will go for a change. Bennett picks up the puck behind his own net. 2:42 left on the power play. Over to Dormer. Dormer takes the red line. He's going to dump it in. Kings get there first behind their net. Puck comes out to Freitas. Freitas back down to Banyan. Up back to Freitas. Freitas up to White at the point. Back to Freitas. Cross to White. Over to Dormer. Dormer down low into the corner. Banyan gets there, skates up the wall on the far side. Pass across to White. White takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. It's bouncing around. Kings get a stick on it and just clear it out of the zone. White wrangles it back in. Skates to the far side, makes a move. He's into the zone. White with the shot. Goaltender gets a piece that goes up into the netting and out of play. 1:57 left in the game. 1:52 on the power play. A couple of shots, but nothing to show for it yet. Rampage still down by 1. Trying to call a timeout. So with 1:57 left in the game, Rampage will take a timeout, try to regroup, put a plan together, and see if we can make something happen with this power play. .152 on the power play, 157 in the game. Rampage desperately need to make something happen. Wait to see if coach is going to elect to pull our goaltender and add an extra attacker on the ice. And that does look like what we're going to see. So with just under 2 minutes left in the game, Rampage will be playing a little bit of 6-on-4 action. Out on the ice, we've got Freitas, Butler, Whittingham, Banyan, Dormer, and White. Up to the point. White sends it back down. Banyan turns. Up to White on the blue line. White takes a shot. Bounces off a stick, goes wide of the net. Banyan turns with it, back behind the net. Up to Butler. Butler across to White. White back to Butler. Shot goes up and over, ends up on the far wall. White sends it down. Freitas turns with it. Dormer turns with it over to Freitas. Shot taken. He had a little bit of space. Just took a second to wrangle it in. Puck does not clear the zone. Butler takes a shot, goes off the body, ends up in the far corner. Whittingham knocks it down. He's going to turn with it. Up to the point to White. White across to Butler. Butler takes a shot. Body's in the way. Puck bouncing around. Whittingham turns over to White. Goes wide of the net, ends up down to Freitas in the corner. Bounces up, and King's turn. They're going to clear this time. It's going to go the distance. White picks it up. Just under a minute left in the game. White skates to the near side. Rampage getting the change. White's into the King's zone on the near side. And that one's going to go in! So Trent White takes his time, skates it end-to-end, complete with a behind-the-net wrap-around play, and he's going to bury that sucker, tying up the game at 3. Rampage still have 42 seconds on the power play. That's okay. I'm happy too. Rampage still have 42 seconds on the power play. Out on the ice to take over for this last little bit of stretch of game. We've got Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, Banyan, and Bennett. Puck comes to the near side boards. Freitas back to Bennett. Across to Banyan. Banyan back over to Bennett. Up to Freitas. Freitas skates through. He's into the zone. Makes a move on the near side wall. Centering pass. It goes off the stick to the far wall. Whittingham turns, sends it down the wall. Comes back up to him at the point. He holds it at the blue line. Whittingham skates down the line. Sends a pass. Goes off the stick across to the near side. Freitas sends a pass across. Dormer wrangles it back in. Makes a quick move at the point. Dormer takes a shot from up high. Deflects off the stick. Oh, Banyan with the second attempt. And the goaltender with a couple of good saves. We've got 4 seconds left. Kings are back at full strength. Bennett's going to wrangle it in and try to just kill the clock. So, with just a little time left in the third, Rampage tie it up, and I believe we're going to go to a 3v3 overtime period for 5 minutes. I believe that's the format we're going to use. That seems to be the case with what we got up on the board. Do you make it period 4?
Now, do I need to put anything else?
We can go to period 4. It doesn't really matter, but just so they know that we're in overtime. Okie dokie. All right, folks. Congratulations on us getting that game tied up. Excellent end-to-end goal by Trent White. We're going to get a little more open ice out there as we get ready to start this overtime period. We've got 5 minutes up on the board. And let's see who we've got out to start the three-man attack. Parker Hay between the pipes. We've got Whitted, Drexel, and Bennett on the ice to start the three-man. All right, folks. Here's where my blood pressure goes up. Rampage win the draw. Back to Bennett. Bennett's going to skate, regroup in his zone. Bennett makes a move to the near side wall. He's into the King zone, holds up at the point, sends it down the boards. Tied up down low. It's going to go to the far side. Kings regain the puck. Try to. Drexel gets in there. Drexel skates it off the wall. Drex takes a shot. Winning! Yeah! 1:28 left in overtime. Drexel takes a shot, deflects off the glass behind the goaltender, and Whitted is waiting for it out front. Holy cannoli! Rampage come away with a high-intensity, high-pressure win on the overtime goal. That one went to Boone Whitted. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you guys back tonight at 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock in Colorado for our game against Bell Tire. Congratulations to the Rampage for sticking it out and taking advantage of the very long power play right at the end of the game, followed by an overtime win, which over the last few years I'm not very accustomed to seeing. So hopefully the boys are a little bit woken up and ready to go, but we will see you guys back here tonight.